of March. We're in the middle of the month, and we are moving at high speed. I want to say thank you for waking up at Classic in the morning time. Really appreciative of the fact that we understand that you have options, but you've made that deliberate decision to wake up at Classic in the morning time. Good morning, Grenada. It's your boy JC here on a Friday. It's the day after the celebration. Certainly we want to start off by saying congratulations to Big Parish. Congratulations to St. Andrew's Anglican Secondary. We know the dust hasn't quite settled, and that's in the boys' division. And certainly we extend hearty congratulations to St. David's Catholic Secondary School. They say somewhere across Grenada, all mass going to play. Congratulations to all of the participants. Congratulations to the organizers of Intercall, Republic Bank Intercall 2024. Indeed, it has been an exhilarating experience, one that would forever has been captured upon the tablets of our hearts and would remember forever for more reasons than some of us would actually care to think about in the morning time. But that's over and done with. That was yesterday. We are here today. The school kids, they're going to do what they do today. And I hope we want to encourage them that you celebrate in the spirit of the games. Celebrate in the spirit of the games. There's always going to be winners. I told somebody yesterday, it doesn't matter what happens. Some of us, we support it either way. And we'll take that energy and transfer it to 2025 when we'll do this all over again, whether you want to believe it or not. So thank you for waking up with us in the morning. We want to say it's another great day, and we want to encourage you to try to find the best version of yourself. As you kickstart the day, we want to provide again a second one into those our viewers, those of you on GBN, on the secondary platforms, television, those of you that's Channel 7, Channel 11, and Channel 20. We do want to apologize for those of you that's trying to find us on YouTube. The regular YouTube page has been fronted with some challenges. So certainly if you're looking for us on GBN, you can find us on the GBN production and not the regular YouTube page that you've accessed traditionally. Good morning to those of you that's on Facebook. Yulene, Sylvia, the entire kit and keyboards. We say thank you for waking up with us. Those of you in New York, those of you in Miami and other parts of the world, we say thanks for being part of this conversation. JC with you. Yes? Well, what is the word of the day? The word of the day that comes up in just a bit. We have the quiz. That's the March 13th, the Memorial Committee. They have today's the last day of the quiz, and we want to say thanks to all those of you that have been participating. So we're going to go straight to the quiz, and thereafter we're going to give you the word of the day. And let's see if we can find ourselves a winner today. As I say, it's now or never. If it doesn't happen today, the question is, when is it going to happen? Right? So let's pull one from the bag and see how we can do it. So some people say, I was asking where we get those difficult quiz. Yeah, well, I'm not thinking it's that difficult. So let me ask you, so the question of the day, I'm just trying to make sure that I haven't exhausted my list. No, I haven't. Right, so what type of economy was the PRG developing in order to achieve its immediate goal of a higher standard of living for Grenada's population? What type of economy was the PRG developing in order to achieve its immediate goal of a higher standard of living for the population? Right, the option, a socialist economy, B, a communist economy, or was it C, a capitalist economy, or D, a mixed economy? So that's your options for the day. You give us your response. Give me a call, 435-2041, and certainly we make provisions for you to get your prizes. For those of you that's wondering, yes, the prizes that's available, we provided your details, and that's hence the reason why we're asking for your details. We provided to the organizers of the quiz, and they will contact you subsequently. They will contact you after so that they can satisfy that part of the morning's arrangement. So while we wait, 425-2041, we're not going to stay forever. We're going to go straight to the telephone line because we have a caller in the morning time. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. You're alive.
Yes, the answer, mixed economy.
It is a mixed. Yes, it is. It is a mixed economy. Congratulations to you. So here's what I would want you to do. Cause I'm just going to give you this contact number. There's something that's creating a distortion, either a fan or something in the background. That you probably want you to move away.
Global Radio.
Right.
Yeah.
So take this number. Just send me the information to 456-3454. Yes?
456.
456-3454.
Okay.
Great. Just send me the details there. And again, congratulations to you. Congratulations to all of the winners in the morning time. Moving right along, how do we find a way to enhance, become better individuals? We're going to kick right into the word of the day. What is the word of the day today? The word of the day is emulate. And so what does it mean to emulate? Well, if you emulate someone or something, you try to be like that person or something. The word is used especially when one is trying to equal or surpass someone in accomplishing or in their achievement. So to emulate someone or something, you try to be like that person or thing. The word is usually used especially when one is trying to equal or surpass someone in accomplishment or achievement. And today we want to keep it in the context of positivity. Younger children will often try to emulate the behavior of their siblings. Yes? Younger children will often try to emulate the behavior of their older siblings. And let's contextualize this. We don't want you to emulate negativity. We always want you to eliminate the negative and promote positivity. That's what it is about. Very often it is easy. But let's emulate, let's promote, let's encourage ourselves. You know what? Let's envy the positive elements of life, things that makes us better. So the word of the day, emulate. And good morning to you, Mr. Peters. I know you're locked in the morning time. 20 minutes gone past the hour. The thought of the day this morning. What's the thought of the day? And we share with you. Today we say to you, never give up on something that you can't go a day without thinking about. Never give up on something that you can't go a day without thinking about. And that thought is from Winston Churchill. Never give up on something that you can't go a day without. Interesting thought. If you can't go without it, it means it is of critical importance to you. And maybe not just that, a thing, but a person, friends, families. Yes? We're going to head into the buzzing stories. There's a whole lot of buzzing stories. I think the buzzing story of the day is that Intercall is all over and done with. But King of the Grill is on its way. King of the Grill is set for Saturday, May 4th, and we are heading to the big parish. Headed to the big parish for King of the Grill. You want to make sure that you register early so to make sure you book your spots for King of the Grill 2024. You don't want to be left out as we head into the big parish. I can know our folks from a team from NADMA. They continue. Master Control, what is it you were offering me? Buzzing stories? We still on Intercall? Yeah, you threw it up on the screen. So, again, we have the results for you for Intercall last evening. We say congratulations. We started the female division. Congratulations to St. David's Catholic Secondary. Just to run through the top three for you. So St. David's Catholic Secondary, 205.5 points. In second place, thank you, Anglican High School on 169 points. So congratulations to the team. Congratulations to all of the schools that participated. In the boys division, we say congratulations to St. Andrew's Anglican Secondary School, SAS. They've made it 21 and left the Tantine boys on 20 championships. They amassed a total of 228.5 points. GBSS, they accumulated 215 And St. David's Catholic Secondary is quite an impressive performance when you consider they racked up 116 in the boys division. It was a real exceptional performance, not just by the top schools, but what we've seen is the emergence of the separation of the barriers. There's always going to be the GBSS and the PBC and those top schools. But we see now the emergence, the growth, the expansion of schools like Boca Secondary. St. David's is again, the rise is there. Those perennial, those traditional contenders, the McDonald College. And we say congratulations, not just for Intercall, well done to Republic Bank and the Principals Association, but we want to say well done to the organizers, those folks that are on the ground and the clubs that's doing their due to ensure the advancements on this sport. Anything else that is buzzing? While we consider what else might be buzzing, we want to tell you we want to get ready for, and NADMA encourages each and every one to have an emergency plan when it comes to the Hurricane Atlantic season, or in general. Always have a plan, a family plan. In the eventuality, God forbid, that something should happen, let's assume that we always talk just about the hurricanes, but we now face with the prospects, given where we live in the Caribbean, our geographic location, the whole conversation touching and surrounded tsunamis. Yes, you would always want to start thinking, okay, where are we meeting? You always want to make sure, especially if you're in a flood-prone area, that you have a designated elevated spot that you can move to. So look around your community, see where you are, and decide in advance, this is what the plan is. Yes? And it's the plan that you want to revise with your family as to what happens during and after. Should you get separated, you should know automatically this is what the expectation is. It is 17 minutes on to the hour in the morning time. We're getting ready for the morning edition of news on Classic 105.5, a production of our News and Current Affairs Department. For those of you that's on television, well, you get a rebroadcast of the evening news. When we return on the other side of the clock, a very interesting conversation is in the pipeline, and it's regarding illegal connection and how it affects the food security program in one of our propagation stations. What is the plan? There are folks who are entitled to be on lines that are provided for watering and all of that, but some people think it's okay. You know what? Let me just take a connection which have considered the impact that it is having. That conversation, how it's affecting the farmers, how it's affecting the Ministry of Agriculture, and how it affects the entire food security plan, given that we were in the middle of the dry season. What say you? Do you think it is okay just to tap in on those connections, or should you go through the right channel? And that conversation comes up on the other side of the clock. But for now, we getting ready for the morning edition of news right here on Classic 105.5 and 105.9 on the FM band.
For when you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. Oh, I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me, yes, I can. Whenever you're in need, yes, you can. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide, the light that shines our way. Wherever you roll me, we'll make your dreams come true. Next time, next time, next time, next day, oh.
Nexa Credit Union. with you wherever your road leads.
At the end of 3 days of excitement at the 2024 Public Bank Intercall Championships, St. Andrew's Anglican Secondary emerged as the winners for the 21st time. The competition has been fierce, with athletes showcasing their skills and resilience on the track and on the field. We're now joined by Nisha Peters at the Cranny James Athletic Stadium for the latest updates. Nisha?
Thank you so much, Stacey. There we have it. We just finished the 2024 Republic Bank Intercall Games. SAS was the champion. The rivals was GDSS, who came in second. And we're here with the coach, Lee Coffey, and he's going to join us for a quick word before he go back and join his team for the celebration. So coming second in this game. Lee? Yeah. No, top game. Top. No, you guys came in here with the intention to win today. However, you all fall short just behind SAS. Tell me, how was it for you all out there?
Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate the St. Andrews Anglican Secondary School on a well-deserved victory. Although it was a bit difficult, championship as intercall games, it takes a lot from you mentally and physically. It was very challenging. Before to the end, we had some mishaps. However, to the end, we tried to remedy it, but as noted, we end up falling short still.
No, you guys never disappoint as always. No, you're going out. Some of you have to friends for character. Tell us what are your expectations from them.
Well, definitely, as one of the coaches with responsibility in the areas of sprint for Grenada, going into the character games, I have high expectations. Some of them, they had a high workload here, so we have to go back and make sure that we more or less get them physically in shape, recover themselves for the character games. We have good expectations. We know what the rest of the Caribbean comes with. It'll be highly competitive, so we have to get our gears up and give Grenada, a good showcase in terms of the athletes here who's going to represent Grenada from Character 2024.
Thank you, Lee, and all the best. Take care.
Yeah.
So there you have it, guys. We also have with us the coach for SAS. It's an Island against Secondary School, Mr. Simon. He's going to join us as well and give a brief comment about the whole 3 days performance here with his team. Hey, Simon, tell us, congratulations. You started it again. 21 times the championship. What does it feel? What the atmosphere like in last camp?
The atmosphere is awesome, I must say. I must first of all thank God for giving us the strength to walk over the 3 days. It was tough traveling down back and forth, but however, we were able to pull off the victory. The team is elated, they're overwhelmed, they're overjoyed, they're excited, and most of all, they're happy to be champion of this year's Intercall Championship.
I know none of your athletes have made the character time. Tell me, what's next for you guys? I know character is around the corner, I said. Back to the drawing board for you all, get the team together.
Well, basically we have like 8 athletes on the character team currently. Christoph, Golden, Delran, Joshim, and just to name a few. And I must say, from here it's just rest and trying to recuperate from the 3 days of hard work and just being united so Grenada can put on the best performance to the Caribbean and the rest of the world.
What do we celebration be like in St. Andrews with them tomorrow, please, God?
It will be mad. It will be mad, I must say. Everything up in telescope, where the trophy going, and the trophy is sailing up the telescope.
Thank you very much, Simon, and all the best. Thank you so much. Also, we're going to join us right about now is the coach of the St. David's Catholic Secondary School. They are the champions in the girls division, and we have with us Leon Radix, who's going to join us at this time. Leon, congratulations. And talk to us. What does it feel like to be champions one more time?
Well, this one feels different. We wanted to get to 18, and we did. So we're quite happy. We thank everyone that contributed and supported the team. That victory is theirs. Big up to the St. David Trailblazers. Paul Phillip, and all the coaching staff at the St. David Blazers and the community of St. David. This one's for you.
Character is next on the agenda. Talk us about that.
Well, yeah, we have a few athletes on the character team, so our focus shifts from parish and school to country now.
Thank you very much and all the best, Alex.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Reporting live from the Carriage Athletic Stadium, I am Nisha Peters for GBN News.
As the Republic Bank Intercol Championship progressed, participants and spectators alike were reminded of the strict rules governing this prestigious event, ensuring fair play and adherence to regulations. John L. Mitchell is the director of the 2024 Intercol Championship.
Measures have been put in place. So an athlete or coach figure, well, I do not agree with the judgment. First of all, we have what you call a protest. They file a protest through what we call the complaints desk. So they would file that protest, and when that protest is filed, it must happen within 30 minutes of the results given or posted. If it is outside of that 30 minutes, then it cannot be filed. So that's the first thing. It must be filed within 30 minutes.
Among these rules, the guidelines concerning an athlete's re-entry into a race. This stands out as crucial in dictating the circumstances under which a competitor can resume participation after an interruption. Mitchell further explains the process for such.
So that protest is given. The complaints desk would bring it to the relevant referee. In these games here, we have throws referee, you have long jump referee, high jump referee, track referee, starters referee. So these are the persons who oversee those different areas. Also, we have what we call combined events referee. So they bring that protest to the referee. The referee looks at it and he reviews it. After it is reviewed, they look at the rules governing that event, the infringement cause, and then they give a report back to the infringement or the protest that came. Now, sometimes the coaches accept it, sometimes they do not accept it, and if they do not accept it, we have what you call a jury of appeal.
With a clear understanding of the guidelines governing re-entry into a race, participants can complete with confidence, knowing that their rights and well-being are safeguarded by the tournament organizers. Prime Minister and Minister for National Security Deacon Mitchell has announced plans to bring to Parliament legislation and other measures to be implemented in the fight against illegal firearms.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, who also serves as the Minister for National Security, announced that government, in collaboration with the Royal Grenada Police Force, is taking a holistic approach to address security concerns and combat the possession of illegal firearms among Grenadians. The initial step involved the establishment of a National Security Steering Committee.
And so a steering committee has been put together, comprising of representatives from a wide cross-section of government institutions, from the port, customs, the airport, the police, the prisons. That committee has begun its work. The idea is that ultimately we get to the point where the committee can recommend to the Cabinet and Government of Grenada a comprehensive policy document to create a National Security Committee to form the necessary leadership that is required to address all aspects of public safety. Second, on the issue of gun crime.
Implementing a 90-day amnesty is the second step in addressing illegal firearms.
We have laid before the Cabinet for its approval with a timeline of taking to Parliament this month of March legislation to amend the Firearms Act to first offer an amnesty for a period of no more than 90 days to persons who may have in their possession or who may know of others who have in their possession illicit, illegal or unlawful firearms and ammunition, to grant them the opportunity to turn in those firearms and the ammunition without being prosecuted.
When the amnesty expires, government will then move to amend legislation to increase the severity of the punishment for the crime. Furthermore, with an aim of finding a solution for community-based disputes that can be solved away from the courthouses, government will also broaden the scope of mediation in various communities.
I'm informed by the Attorney General that as many as 23 persons were recently trained in mediation. We therefore intend to work with the mediation office to develop a program that would allow us to place those mediators in our communities and to develop a system that would allow our community centers to function as mediation offices that would allow neighbors, families, and whole villages and communities, if necessary, to be able to come in a safe and confidential environment, to sit with a trained mediator to find ways.
Prime Minister Mitchell indicated that the desire young people have for firearms is only for killing each other, which will not only increase crimes but change our society forever. Rena P. Thomas, GBN News.
Now the Republic Bank Intercall Championship culminates. The spirited students representing various schools across Grenada are not only cheering on their respective schools, but also raising their voices against the troubling spate of violence gripping their nation. Nisha Peters has this story.
Safe for Grenada for everyone.
I find it's too regular, and we Grenadians need to learn how to unite as one and stop the violence as we go older, because we are younger kids coming up and we don't want school children involved in the violent community. We want a better life for we, the Grenadians.
We are tired of the violence. It's time for it to stop, remarked the student from Presentation Brothers College.
I think it's a major problem, and I think it's mainly because the fact that of foreign influences, so like the likes of Trinidad. I think because of the songs and the violence in the songs, that's why there's violence in Grenada, and also a lack of like jobs. So people, they're idle, so they have nothing to do, so they resent violence.
The sentiments echoed by a Form 4 Happy Youth student is that the spate of violence has cast a shadow over the daily lives of Grenadian youth.
I don't feel safe about the violence in the country that is happening, but it's like there's a young life and they want to live their life how they want to, so you can't really make choices for them to live their life. But to be honest, on my part, I don't really feel safe with the violence in the country, because going out with my friends, I don't really feel safe because I won't know what will happen to us on the other side.
The Republic Bank Intercall Championship, a renowned platform for fostering sportsmanship and camaraderie among Grenadian youth, has provided an opportune moment for these young individuals to amplify their voices and call for action against violence. This impassioned plea of Grenadian youth to reverberate beyond the confines of the sports arena, resonating with communities across the nation. Their unwavering determination and collective call for peace serve as a beacon of hope in the midst of adversity. Nisha Peters, GBN News.
Operations at the Mirabel Propagation Station and other government facilities in the area are being impacted by increased illegal water line connections. We hear more in this report.
Operations at the Mirabel Propagation Station, Mirabel Farm School, and to a lesser extent the Princess Alice Hospital are under significant strain due to unauthorized connection to their water supply. The dam, which is responsible for providing water to these facilities, falls under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Agriculture. Nigel Gibbs, Assistant Manager, Supervisor at the Propagation Division of the Mirabel Propagation Station, shed light on the challenges faced by the station, which is exacerbated during the dry season.
A farmer had attached his line to irrigate his farm on the line that feeds the farm school and the propagation division or the Mirabel station. What has happened as a consequence is that there's significant challenge in the water pressure. In fact, there is also damage done to the irrigation line, and currently it is leaking. You may see some footage of irrigation happening, and although this is not the direct area, but it has impacted other farmers who have firstly, the permission to be irrigating, and secondly, it has impacted our ability and capacity to properly irrigate the crops that we now have on ground at present.
Tyrone Charles, an irrigation officer, and Troy Augustine, an agronomist attached to the propagation station, elaborated on how these challenges are impacting crop yields and placing strain on their daily operations.
So the dam cannot reach the level it would need to be to put pressure into the lines. So on this plat, just this plat alone, the water is not enough to spin the sprinklers that is in this area. And we have several other areas that we are using. Even with the drips, the water is still not enough to fill up the drip lines when one area is open, to let several areas open at the same time. So that is a problem and a challenge we have in here now.
Look at this yam. If the yam was getting enough water, the yam would at least be long as this. This one, again, the same. The yams are not performing because one of the critical factors, even if you fertilize, sometimes the rain is not enough. And when you don't irrigate, your yams cannot move.
Alison Haynes, chief agronomist, said the Ministry of Agriculture is taking steps to address the situation promptly.
Notice would be issued to persons with illegal connections in the areas of Marabou, Saba, Bylands, and Ludbo to disconnect. Persons would be given 1 month in which to do so. Failure to disconnect the lines within 1 month would result in the ministry taking its own action to safeguard its water supply.
The ministry is asking persons to exercise due diligence and collaborate effectively to mitigate the impact of illegal water connections. Rena P. Thomas, GMA News.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Lands, Forestry, and Marine Resources is set to expand its support to farmers with an additional injection of $1.3 million into the Agricultural Development Assistance Program. That's following a $500,000 investment in 2023. The primary areas of focus will be providing labor assistance to 450 medium-sized farmers, covering tasks such as land clearing, crop planting, tree pruning, and drain maintenance, totaling approximately $405,000. Additionally, labor support will be extended to 50 farmers cultivating 10 acres or more. That's amounting to over $90,000. Other initiatives include tractor and chainsaw services to clear additional planting areas, material and labor support for 25 livestock farmers, and assistance for 15 nursery operators, among other endeavors. The ministry is dedicated to boosting food production, enhancing food and nutrition security, and augmenting farmers' revenue streams. By integrating modern technology with best agricultural practices, the ministry aims to transform the sector into a resilient and sustainable industry. Esther Patterson of Carriacou was killed on the verge of the staging of the 56th Republic Bank Intercall High School Games. Her schoolmates adopted a unique way to pay tribute to the slain teenager. It's time for the GBN ISAW Lens.
A good eye catches all. GBN ISAW is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
ISAW features a touching tribute. During the match pass competition on day 2 of the Republic Bank Intercall Games, students of the Hillsborough Secondary School had cards affixed to the left side of their chest that read, "Justice for Esther," and displayed her photo. A moment of silence was also observed for her at the official start of the games. Esther Patterson, a student of the school, was killed last Friday. Her stepfather has since been charged for her death. Credit for the photograph goes to photographer Haran Photo. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp at 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
I'm a VIP. I'm a VIP.
I am a VIP. I am vaccinated. I am immunized. I am protected. Our children and nation depend on vaccination for immunization. Childhood vaccination is national priority. It is their protection from disease and sicknesses. Let's all be VIPs and safeguard our beautiful Grenada. I am DJ Blackstorm and I am a VIP health champion. Be a VIP like me.
Let's all be VIP champions.
A message from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, Be a VIP Childhood Vaccination and Immunization Campaign in collaboration with UNICEF and the Pan American Health Organization.
Get ready to witness the ultimate showcase of talent, speed, and determination at the 2024 Carifta Games. This prestigious event brings together the best young athletes from across the Caribbean, competing for glory like never before. With the motto, many people, one region, celebrating athletics, Carifta embodies the essence of Caribbean unity through sports, igniting a flame that illuminates the future of sports in the region. Don't miss out on this incredible event taking place at the Karani James Athletic Stadium from Saturday 30th March to Monday 1st April 2024. Get your tickets now at Grenadian Optical or visit gotofed.com and secure your spot to be part of this extraordinary celebration of athleticism.
Third-party outages are caused by parties external to Grenada. Kite flying is one of the major causes of third-party outages also.
Kite flying over the years has proven to be an issue that has created many outages on our systems.
This Easter, Grenlec would like you to keep your kite in sight. Use an open area with no overhead power lines. Avoid personal injury through electric shock. Avoid damaging property and causing inconvenience through power outages. Enjoy tradition safely. Avoid damage and injury.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
My name is Alimaka Motley. I've been here doing nails since 2017. Me being self-employed, I have realized that paying the NIS benefits me now and even when I retire. By the time I'm 65, I will be receiving contributions back from NIS. So I benefit because I'm self-employed. Anything can happen. If anything happens to you while you're at work, you've got a bad cold, you have the COVID, you have dengue, we have all these diseases that's plaguing us at the moment. NIS will be giving you back some form of money when you're ill. So I would encourage all small business persons to sign up with NIS now.
Served Grenada for decades. We are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada, St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
The plan
Planning and Development Authority of Grenada, PDA, is enforcing regulations to curb illegal, disorderly, and unauthorized development in several locations throughout the state of Grenada. The authority is concerned that structures mainly associated with vending are negatively impacting the environment, has undesirable public health and sanitation consequences, present obstructions to vehicle and pedestrian traffic, can become projectiles during adverse weather conditions, and generally affect the aesthetics of the nation. The PDA will work along with stakeholder ministries and institutions to effect the demolition, removal, and disposal of structures which fall in the category of illegal and disorderly development, commencing January 2024. In this regard, persons who vend in or occupy such illegal structures are advised to secure their personal belongings and have the structures removed ahead of the planned PDA demolition operations. These actions of the PDA have become necessary to safeguard and protect public health and the environment, ensure the safety and well-being of all citizens and visitors, discourage any future disorderly construction, and encourage compliance to regulations pertaining to physical development in the state of Grenada. This is a message from the Planning and Development Authority of Grenada.
Well, 15, not 15, it's just about 14 minutes, in fact, gone past the hour in the morning time. Good morning again to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Petite Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, to you wherever you are. Welcome back to the televised segment of Good Morning Grenada. And let me just first apologize. I did intimate that we were having two individuals to contend that to add to that story that I promoted this morning, but I want to say thanks to Mr. Nigel Gibbs. He's here on the inside. Good morning to you, Nigel. It has been a while. Well, not that I've seen you. It's a while we've stopped and we've had a conversation that's within reach. How are you, comrade?
Thank you, Mr. Cadore, for the invitation. I am well. I'm still nursing some of the heated celebration from the winners from yesterday, but you know how we are. We never give up the boys from canteen. So just want to say hello to the listening public.
We them boys. I don't think some people wonder if guys like us would have left school since like kind of time. How is it we still have that drive and that fervor? And I keep saying, therein lies the strength of Intercol as an institution. It has been and built character out of you. And I do hope the younger generation...
Yeah, well, appreciate.
They're going to... It's not just about winning. You're winning, yes, you celebrate.
But it's about the performance and the commitment.
The commitment. And that's what... Good morning to you. The old chief, Mr. Victor Ashby, he always said it's not just about winning, but it's about participating, competing, and delivering at the highest level. 40 years from now, yes, we will remember who won Intercol, but of course these individuals, the students that participated, they remember the bonds of camaraderie that they had and the sort of friendship that they fostered. Again, congratulations to each and every one. Nigel, we have a problem.
A major problem.
We have a problem. We're not calling Texas, we're not calling anywhere else. We have a situation that is severely affecting the Maribor propagation station, and by extension, anything that affects your propagating station puts a challenge on the farming nation, our food security conversation, right? Give me a background. Let's put that conversation in focus as we advance it.
Yes, it is a problem that has been increasing in its intensity for several years now, maybe a few decades. We have been given possession in terms of operation capacity of a secondary dam that we use for irrigation purposes, basically on two compounds, and at some point, I don't know if it is still used, but the Maribor, the Princess Alice Hospital also had that system supplying them. The dam was a dam that was handed over to us by the National Water and Sewage Authority.
Right.
For use and management, but in fact they are still the custodians by law of all water on touching the Grenadian soil.
Right.
They constructed a new dam, and so we have been using that dam now for well in excess of maybe 30, 35, 40 years, thereabout, for irrigation purposes. Over the years, over the decades.
Right.
We've had permission granted because of how the industry went in terms of the cut flower industry. So there were initially only 2 persons who were given written consent by the Ministry of Agriculture to engage. That is when we had the presence of the Taiwanese on island and in fact running the agriculture mission in Las Vegas. They introduced the cut flower industry, or probably ramped up on it. So there were 2 farmers in the area. One still functions. The other one, God bless his soul, was a former worker of the Ministry of Agriculture who is now deceased. And after that period, the other residents, farmers as well as householders, took the opportunity and took it upon themselves to connect to those lines, because once it passed from our compound, it passed through that SAB community, and several householders took the opportunity to take a branch, we don't say, in local balance, they take a branch of water. There have been in the past where other farmers who wanted to start up plying their trade in farming, even while it's subsistence farming, because the main line from the dam passes through the Byland and Maribo community along the road. They saw the opportunity to just step out from the gaps and make a connection.
And let's contextualize this. This is in fact an illegal connection.
An illegal connection.
Right.
Over the years, there have been permission verbally given by some politicians, past politicians, and that is something that
doesn't help. It
doesn't help the situation. So now you hear when we approach these farmers, they will tell you, well, I got permission from somebody who was a politician more than 20, 25 years ago. It has exacerbated the issue, because once John Doe gets that connection on his compound, the brother connects, the cousin connects, and the water, which is something that is dangerous and has been brought to their attention, has been used and is continued to be used for domestic purposes. So they're treating it as potable water, but in fact it is untreated water and could be affected by chemicals, by fecal matter, because it's an open source water, water supply. And the calls for the cease of the use has gone on deaf ears, and in fact there are people currently now threatening to go and hook up illegally.
No, so this problem is now on 2 fronts.
2 fronts.
One, it depletes that managed source of water for the station, right, and especially during the dry season.
During the dry period,
right. And again, we're going to put into context the role that the Maribo Propagation Station serves, that it plays. But secondly, that is the water that passes through those pipelines. It is not safe. It's not intended for consumption.
For human consumption. Only for farming purposes. And we have seen that problem growing. Of course, there are new constructions, new residents going up in the area. And it's a very close-knit community.
Right.
So the challenge grew over the years, but this year, from last year, we started really trying to push back, because it was depleting our capacity, reducing our capacity to provide planting materials and plants to the farming community.
So we're gonna expand on that. I'm not sure if you can. What's one of the drawbacks of consuming water? That is clearly. And I guess it is always easy sometimes for individuals to blame Nawasa as a utility provider that they get water that is XYZ. Yeah? But from your history, from your interaction, and I guess Nawasa is aware of it.
Yes, very aware.
What are some of the health challenges to this?
Well, the health challenges is that one can have chemical residue ingesting of because it's farming along that area. Chemical residue from pesticides, herbicides can get into the water. And though some of them are normally engineered to deactivate when they come in contact with open water source or soil, after a while it dissolves. But the accumulation, so you may be using that water and somebody farming along the area is using herbicides. And over a period of time, the ingestion of that could in fact trigger cancers. It is one of the clearest warnings on these agrochemicals. They are high risk of cancer if you do not use proper PPE, protective gears. So you can only imagine ingesting this contaminated water over a period of time.
And you're saying this is a conversation that's been ongoing for more than 30 years?
Yes, ongoing for more than 30 years. So we've had issues. There could be contraction of amoeba, these unicellular organisms.
What is that? Break it down for us.
So the amoeba unicellular microorganisms that normally would be found in untreated water. So it is something that will only be detected by a microscope, by microscopic investigation. If those are ingested and somebody with a weak immunity, and I'm not the specialist on this here, but
that's going to have its
own health challenges. And we've had people in the past who have admitted to using the water and had that issue, and in fact had to travel abroad to have that flushed out of the system and to reverse the effects.
That system that is set up for propagation, is it clearly defined, or is it, do we use the same? Because I'm trying to figure out, I mean, for one, it's not your connection, because we've seen any water supply that we get has to go through Nawasa.
Yes.
So once you know you did not go through Nawasa, you know it's that you are breaking the law. You're breaking the law. But are those lines, are they color coded, are they marked, or is it the same?
Well, the lines are buried all the way until they get to our compound. There are a few areas of exposure, and those are in the mountain where they have the 6-inch mains after the water leaves the dam. But that is not tampered with. It is when it gets to the community and the line is reduced to a 2-inch main that supplies the farm school, that supplies the Maribo propagating station as we speak. The water comes down from that main catchment, goes to the Nawasa treatment area. They have control valves because it was part of the operation before. Interestingly, in the dry periods, when the supply of the potable water that they treat goes down, they will do a switch and use that source to bolster their supply. But the water is treated at that point. So it is diverted and treated and then returned to the potable line that Nawasa manages. So they would normally give a call to the station and said, you're going to have interruption in the overflow or the untreated water supply because now we need to replenish our reservoir. And normally that happens overnight. They would normally do it in the night to refill and they will treat. So that is a safe and managed practice.
So the problem has been highlighted. You've had conversations with those farmers, and how that communication process taking place?
Well, last year, in an effort after several years had passed and efforts was not successful, last year we decided to have a community meeting, which we invited residents in the community, especially the farmers, the management of Nawasa, that eastern branch, the St. Andrews branch. I think the manager from the Ladig water treatment, who normally supervises that northern side of Grenada, was present. officials from the Ministry of Agriculture, including the land use director at the time, Mr. Thompson, the permanent secretary, and the Minister of Agriculture.
So this is extensive conversation.
And the police force.
At varied levels.
At varied levels.
And
very few residents showed up. So we were not only looking to say, okay, you cannot use the water. We were looking for managed use, control use, and authorized use.
Right.
Uses. So out of that meeting, several decisions were taken. First, to stem the connection, the illegal connection. Secondly, to look at alternative ways and what we say climate smart agricultural practices. So a reduction in, first of all, repairing all the leaks on the line, so we would have that reduce loss of water, excessive flow. So mitigating practices to make sure that the supply of water is at full capacity, and then dealing with the illegal connections, removing the people who have connected for domestic use, ensuring that the people who are allowed and who are authorized to use the water has a good supply, and looking at installing check valves so that we can have better management of the water, we can control it, and also the talk of metering the water for the farmers who use it. Now, let me just explain the metering of the water. Because the water is used basically for commercial purposes, there is no revenue generated, there is no assistance to maintain the system from these farmers. In fact, we normally would send out an SOS when the dam is clogged up from heavy rainfall or dry debris during this dry period. Leaves will go in and clog the intake. Very few to little farmers would respond. In fact, many of them who have been using the line has not ever reached out to us.
Are these farmers, are they registered farmers that you know who they are?
Most of them should be registered, but we know who all of them are.
Right.
Some of them even work on the compound, on the Maribo Station compound. And so we have engaged them. In fact, there are areas where usage of the water was cut off, so they know now that they cannot use it. There were even people farming using the water, the potable water that was going to the Maribo Hospital, and the bills were extra, and trying to ascertain why the potable water bill in the hospital. Then when they trace the line,
then they
realize somebody, a farmer who was farming close by, was hooked up and using the potable water to farm. So it's been a slew of illegal activities.
So you've identified them, you've engaged them at varied levels. What has the response been? And what is the plan to address that situation? Because we have not even gotten to the impact it has on the propagation station.
Propagating station.
Yeah.
So we have engaged several farmers, and the response from them has been negative. And it is sad to say, but we have been met with threats, physical threats. Even when we discovered one person who now farms in very close proximity to the propagating station. When the watchman engaged him, because we discovered that he had illegally connected, and there were physical threats. So we had to now go to higher authorities to ensure that the conflict, which is brewing now, because in the dry season, conflict develops even among the farmers for the use of the water. Because what the illegal connection has even done to some of those who are authorized is that the connection has extended so far beyond the point that it was intended for, that now some farmers are experiencing the very same thing that we are experiencing. They do not have the use of the...
Let's look at this varied ways as we keep our eyes on the clock, 29 minutes onto the hour. I could see some individuals are saying, well, they are farmers.
Yes.
You farming, they farming, all of us farming. What is the problem?
So we fully understand, especially for St. Andrews and that Maribo, Sab area, Granborough area, Ludborough area, those are the areas that we we have on focus now. They are part of the food security. They contribute to the food security of the nation. They contribute to livelihoods. And so it is not a matter where we do not want them to farm or to have access to water. And for that reason, there have been one major project to do a catchment. So a water tank was constructed with the capacity of between 30 to 50,000 gallons. There are some challenges because the structure developed some leaks, and that was brought on the table last year. So there was the process had been started to repair that tank, and to even look at other projects where we can increase the water output, increasing the retention capacity of our own dam, and so we could then structurally arrange connection, because we understand it is not where we do not want. Some of these people, the farmers, is their main source of income or their only source of income.
And sometimes you could understand why.
We could understand
the reservation,
yes.
But at the same time, law and order must prevail.
Must prevail, and it has to be done structurally. So there were several recommendations to increase the water output, but to regulate the water use. So now we have to go in a sense, with a heavy arm, which we don't really want to do, and to say to you people, the system has caused so much damage now that we have to address the problem head on. And of course, the permanent secretary has given the mandate, so there will be bulletins and letters issued to these farmers. We've started the process since last year to identify them. We will ramp it up now, and they will be issued written notifications that what they're doing is illegal and we need redress to the problem. We will also move swiftly to do all the repairs that are needed on the line and to bring everything back into focus. But the ministry has already started bringing in irrigation equipment, which the farmers benefit from. A lot of things like micro sprinklers, strip lines, because some of the usage, the technology in the usage now of the water sometimes causes a lot of wastage. So a lot of the overhead sprinklers we're seeing, some of the farmers irrigate for too long because they want to ensure that their cash crop is well irrigated.
We keep it eyes on the clock, and we're going to break this conversation down, and we'll also engage you, the general public, to be part of the conversation. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back right here on Classic Radio and GBN Television in the morning time.
Frangipani Salon & Spa, we offer a variety of services. We also have packages for weddings, graduation, and birthdays. We do manicures, pedicures, massage, facials, waxing. We cater for men, women, and children. We have packages. We are located in the White Gun area in the building on all social platforms. Our contact information is 414-8943.
Are you looking for a reliable, affordable, and customer-friendly pharmacy? Look no further than Hills and Valley Pharmacy, the nation's leading healthcare products and services provider. We are committed to serving you at convenient locations. Find an extensive and affordable selection of prescription and over-the-counter drugs and medical supplies at Church Street, Hillsborough, Carriacou, Jubilee Street, Grenville, St. Andrew, near the bus terminal, and Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George. Our committed team is always available to offer valuable assistance for managing your health health and wellness. Discover the additional benefits of our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street and our Medcare Center on Grenville Street, where we provide in-house physiotherapy, massage therapy, doctor consultations, and eye care services. Our commitment is to satisfy all your healthcare needs, including competitive prices, loyalty rewards, and special discounts for seniors. Contact us at 435-6904 and WhatsApp 535-4734. Choose Hills and Valley Pharmacy. Remember, your health is our business.
Welcome back. It is 23 minutes to 8 o'clock in the morning time. 8 o'clock workers. Well, depending on how close or how far you are, I suggest you detect to be Speedy Gonzalez. Yeah. Or if not, unless you probably figure you've had enough of the job, just let the boss know that you probably opting to sleep late today. And he'll probably tell you that you should probably sleep late for the weekend and the rest of the month. Nigel Gibbs here with me. Nigel, we've been speaking about a challenge we've had as it relates to the ministry's inability to safely manage its water resource that is specific to the Maribor Propagation Station, that is part of that national food plan, security plan. You've had the challenge of persons illegally connecting to that water source. One, it's a water source that is not treated. No. And it adds an added challenge of you not being able to sufficiently manage it, because everybody just figure it's open season, as though it's for all and sundry. We've gone to the point where notifications have been sent out, will be sent out, so persons are aware. Listen, and you've also stated that you've made attempts to have public consultation with those persons, and that has worked to no avail. I guess some people's head really, really hard. Let's talk specifically about the role of the propagation station and how those challenges affect the bigger picture of when it comes to the food security plan.
So, the mandate of the Maribor Agricultural Research and Development Institute, that's our new name, but everyone knows the Maribor Propagating Station. Our mandate is very clear. On a yearly basis, we are to provide clean, disease-free planting material. So it ranges from a variety of traditional and commercial crops. Right. The nutmeg, the mango, we're getting back into the citrus, all of the spices, and also root crop assistance. So yams, cassava, sweet potato, ginger. We're doing research to introduce new varieties to the farmers. So there's research that is continuous with carrots, and we're just in the process of harvesting now, and we're seeing the effects from the harvest. Okay. We have also just started Irish potato research, because part of the food security program going forward is to reintroduce, to work on the import bill to see how we can get back into local Irish potato, because it's heavily used there. Yes. And we know the difficulties with the skyrocketing prices and so on. Right. So with the challenges that we have with the irrigation, which has become very acute, and I want to specifically home in here on the yam production. Last year, just anecdotally off the top of my head, I don't have the figures, but we would have distributed probably in excess of 5,000 or more ponds of yam from the Maribor Propagating Station. We replanted a significant portion of what we did not distribute, which would have been in the region of about 2,000 ponds or so. Right. That should have given us a significant yield this year, increase on our output. Right. All of our cultural practices, so the weeding, the fertilizing, and was on point, the staking of the yams and so on. But the irrigation was a significant challenge. We are now in the process of harvesting the yam, and we are yet to get even close to 1,000 ponds. What this has done is that it means that we will have zero yam in terms of planting material for the farming community this year.
And that distribution process would involve the very said farmers.
The very said farmers. And it is a subsidized program. It is sold cheap, and in some instances, it is given free.
So you're biting the hand that's feeding you?
You're biting the hand that's feeding you.
That almost seems like ungratefulness at the highest level.
Making it difficult for us to really service the same farmers, because this is their livelihoods. And we're trying to make them understand, if we cannot perform our role, then they in turn will suffer. You're talking putting meals on the table, paying your children's school fees, you paying your utilities, having medical bills paid, and all of these things that are critical to the advancement.
Let's hold that thought as we go to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Yeah, morning, Joseph, and morning to your guest. I don't recognize his name.
Mr. Gibbs.
Hello?
I'm saying his name is Mr. Gibbs.
Yo, morning, Mr. Gibbs. I feel very heartbroken for the things you're saying, because it is frightening when we see so much people dying from cancer and so on, and sometimes we don't understand what are the causes, and maybe what you said this morning could shed light on the dangers that we face as a people. And it's not just for people in that area, because food is distributed. I mean, you could go from one part of the island and eat food from somebody whose food have come through the system. So I think we need a big conversation and give urgency to that, because it has many components in that. You have water, food, you have safety, you have a whole set of stuff, even the climate situation, I mean,
right.
This need urgent attention, and it shows how lawless we have been over the last 2 years. I mean, I keep repeating a statement a bishop of the Pentecostal Church in Market Hill said one after the Hurricane Ivan, that we are a thieving nation.
Okay.
We are a nation of thieves. And people have to understand that everything has a cost, it has consequences. So we have to really, temper our greed.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Appreciate your contribution. 435-2041, and that's the number on the inside. In case you're just joining us, I'm Nigel Gibbs here with me from the Maryborough Propagation Center. Let's go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're alive. Caller, good morning. You're alive.
Hi, good morning to you, Mr. Cadore, and good morning to Mr. Gibbs.
Good morning.
Mr. Gibbs, I'm listening to some of your statements here, and I find it so ridiculous. You mentioned that 25 years ago, these people and them hook up on that water. Now, after is police for all water in Grenada, and although allow people to do this wrong thing for all these years, and look today, I find like they want to set up this administration, because you know what, the people who are using the water will say no. All these years with the NNP using the water, nobody do interact. 2 years they come, they don't want us to use the water. You know how much bad thing they will say about this administration? But I want to say this administration, the more I hear things, is more I grow to love these people, because you know why? They care about people. Because look at the enrich 2 years later, and look, they could interact in this water and see that is wrong, and they're trying to make it right. So something ain't right in this country, but okay. God bless these people and them to looking into the interests of the poor and vulnerable in this country.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's interesting how things takes on a political tone all of a sudden. 435-2041, that is the number on the inside. What's the plan going forward? We need to address this concern. So the letters will be issued. Yes. They have not been issued as yet.
Not been issued.
Right.
As yet.
And what is the expected course of action, remedial action, after notification?
So after notification, there will be a period of about a month for people to comply. And the non-compliant residents or farmers, they will be cut off. And it will be an engagement not just with the Ministry of Agriculture, but also with the National Water and Sewage Authority, who has vested interest in the resource, of course, and the Royal Grenada Police Force. Those participants were on the table before, discussing with the villagers, so they know. As we move forward, we are going to find solutions to increase water storage in the area, to have better agricultural practice, climate-smart agricultural practices, and engage the farmers so that they do not lose out on their livelihood. This is not where we're trying to disrupt people's livelihood. We want to manage the resource properly.
And I think that must be clearly articulated, that you are willing to work with them.
Exactly.
But it cannot be done on their terms.
It has to be structured, and it has to be that everybody would benefit, and this is a national trust. So if they interrupt the propagation from happening, it expands and it multiplies exponentially to the affecting the entire agriculture output.
For those that's using it for residential purposes, and we've intimated that it is
illegal.
It's illegal and it's not untreated water.
Yes, it is untreated.
What plan is there in place? Because certainly to just disconnect some, I mean, it's already it's wrong, but it's okay. It's one thing just to say, okay, because you've been doing it illegally, we're just going to cut you off. But they use the water for the purposes. Is the ministry going to engage, have a conversation, let's say, for those who are under economic challenges, that would say, well, listen, maybe we need to have a conversation with social development, that collaborative conversation that ensures that, honestly, that nobody at the end of the day is left out in the wet.
In the wet. So, interestingly, good point that you've raised, good concern, but this is a non-issue, simply because all of the people who are connected to the untreated water are also connected to the Nawasa line. So that is where we found we had to clandestinely go into the communities and investigate for ourselves. These are 2-3 bedroom houses, big residential areas with families, well established. It's not the little, there might be one or few of the most smaller houses, the vulnerable people.
But the greater part.
Probably could go safely say 98-99% of them have potable water now, so they pay water bill, but they subsidize it. They use it to their advantage. It's an illegal connection. It is also unhealthy, and so there will be no excuses. They will be removed from the line with almost immediate effect once we go in and decide.
And you say the ministry together with NAWASA will be piloting that program.
And of course, for security purposes, we have to engage the Royal Grenada Police Force because we have met challenges in the past.
Let's go to the telephone line. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Morning, singer to your guest. I tend to support the previous caller. Because, you see, if something is wrong, something is wrong. And I think that if this government sees that NAWASA is losing revenue and the illegal connections, etc., and while the previous government, or whoever it is, I don't want to blame people, had allowed it to happen, it is wrong. And so I have no problem in this government or the NAWASA or who are the authorities cutting these people off. So I don't think that people should just jump down and say this and say that, because I think that is the right decision the government making, because people should not be diverting the water for their personal use, for the farm or whatever it is, or if they have to do that, they should pay, because we are all paying for our water. And so I agree with the government to institute this policy, if I hear correctly, because I kind of joined the program late, to handle the problem, take it under the control now and do what is correct. So I'm supporting them in that initiative, because it is important that NAWASA gets the revenue and that people pay for the water that they're using. So I have no problem with that. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. 435-2041. And I guess for persons who might be just with, I don't think at any point in time we have established that it is wrong. It's an illegal connection, and we're saying that the idea is that we want to manage this process going forward. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Good morning, JC. How are you, sir?
Wonderful, thank you. Go ahead, please.
JC, it could be a little painful in many areas in this nation when the right step or the correct step is taken to establish functionality on principles, fundamental principles. So this is a platform for my comments coming forward. For too long, the citizens and the people of this nation fail to recognize this true status, the real status, the natural status, so that in the way of thinking and planning, it will be correct, not over short term or medium or long term, but throughout the life and life of generations to come. We have been doing a lot of wrong things, or things that seems to be right, but is contrary and destructive in the long term.
Okay.
And we need to address that. It might be a little painful, no and immediate. But when you look at it down the line for generations to come, you would see how critical that is for the socio-economic strength and sustainability of the Grenadian people. Steps must be taken. Let me applaud the individuals who have the guts like Calabash, to take those steps to bring about corrective measures that we can see socio-economic growth and development.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
435-2041, that's the number on the inside. Nigel Gibbs here with me. Nigel, I think the bigger picture, very often, I think we're very myopic. We tend to see selfishly what we want to see and not realizing. But if we can, for the next few minutes, just focus a bit on that National Food Security Plan and how's that plan rolling out, and what are some of the more immediate changes that's been made to ensure we address the concern of food security on island?
Well, the ministry have taken, and I guess the new administration, through policy, to really do a review of the areas of concern regarding food security. One of it, because of climate change, is irrigation. It's a major issue across the island. We've had instances even where farmers have become very aggressive in trying to ensure that they get some of the water, if not all, for themselves. In Maribo, on that plateau, we've had a conflict already, and it came up. We had to go into the village to try to solve it. So there is a dynamic rollout to do an improved food security plan, and it would include irrigation systems, climate smart agriculture. We have an ADAPT program where from the initiation of the planting, the farming, the plant nutrition, the pre-harvesting, post-handling, all of that will be captured by the Ministry of Agriculture in terms of input of labor and so on. Mm-hmm. And then there will be an agreement for a specific price for sale of that produce from the farmers, because this is a drive not only to produce the food, but to make it affordable for our housewives, for our mothers, for our table, so people can afford healthy, nutritious food, because this is what will drive our nations in terms of workforce, in terms of staying ahead of the COVIDs and all these threats that are coming up.
Is there a timetable in place for that revised?
Well, some of it have already rolled out. Last year we had a short stint. The program had to be stopped, but it is now being revamped. So the ADAPT program, the Farm Assistance Program, and during the course of the year, people from the experts from the Extension Division and so on, I'm sure we'll be back to deliberate on that. But we have received and now are in the process of distributing fertilizer, plant nutrition. We receive somewhere in the capacity of about 5,000 bags from the Kingdom of Morocco. Various fertilizer, it's reduced price, subsidized, $50 and $40 a bag based on the type that you're buying. Right. We have the NPKs, the top dressing fertilizers, is now being procured to be ordered and should be here before the planting season, another 5,000 to 6,000 bags of fertilizer. Because the ministry and the policymakers understand if we do not have the capacity to grow food, then we will be exposed. Of course, you're talking health issues and then revenue generation.
Let me ask you though, because we're almost out of time. We need to be out of here in under next 2 minutes. Central to the food security plan and central to propagating, central to the farming is the issue water. Of course, water is life.
Yes.
Does that food security plan take into consideration the need for greater capacity, greater storage, not just by, well, I guess whoever the players are, but this needs to be a part of the conversation?
Yes. So that is, and there have been projects in the past to do rainwater harvesting system, to set up catchment and storage areas. Even on the farm, right in Maryville, we have several pilot projects where farmers benefited from 500 to 1,000 gallons water tank where they can store, drip irrigation lines where they can, manage the water and use the resource adequately. Even in Maryville, we've had a rainwater harvesting system installed. We've been donated 2 tanks from one of the 3 water tanks of one of the gas companies, which has increased our capacity to store water by some 30 to 40,000 gallons. But all of these things are still challenging to roll out and implement because there is so much disturbance in the water flow.
This isn't an appeal. This is not the intention is not to disrupt anybody's life, but the intention is that we progress as we progress together, that we can manage our resources for the greater good of Grenada,
of the nation,
not necessarily an individual. It's a call. Again, and it comes with on the heels of, as we celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence. 2 minutes on to the hour of 8 o'clock. We're getting ready for those that's on radio to join the BBC for a bulletin of news. Well, I spent the last 2 weeks with you because Innocent was on holidays, but I would assume quite reasonably, Mr. Gordon, that you rested. And you forced me for the last 2 weeks to be out of my bed quite early. Yeah, that leisure time you had is all over. To all of my listeners, my viewers, wherever you are, those of you on social media, of course, it was always a pleasure being with you for the last 2 weeks. We go back to regular programming, where, of course, you and I are going to be together on a Thursday night, as we always do, and we rock the box. But I'll continue to be with you on Saturdays. I'll be back with you tomorrow, Saturday, from 10 until 12, 10 until 2, when you know what we do on the Saturdays. It's all about more music and less talk. Nigel, it's good to see you, comrade.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. To all listeners, we have joined the BBC for a bulletin of news that's just around the corner.